favorite products, George Lawson, MorseWatchmans.com. Quick story for everybody. I think I was one of your early customers in the key box world.
That is correct.
Yeah, way back in 96, 97, something like that.
And the system barely worked back then. It worked like a charm. I'm kidding.
Well, there were a couple of bugs. My biggest challenge was getting a wire long enough to go from where I needed the box to be to the computer terminal. But we overcame that, and it was kind of DOS-based. Nothing against DOS. DOS is sometimes more stable.
Back then.
Yeah. But boy, I went from lost keys, relock. I had to rekey a studio once, right? That cost $50,000. I spent $5,000 in a box, zero problems.
Exactly.
So fantastic product. It's even more high tech. You guys got to check them out. A booth number
1633.
1633. Okay. It really is one of the best products made out there. I think you guys were the first in your space on this kind of stuff, right?
We really are.
Yeah.
And you're right. And even the original systems, as Chuck mentioned, DOS-based, but those things were bulletproof.
Yeah, they really were.
Ran and ran and ran. I mean, we have customers. Honestly, we still have a handful of customers
still using them.
Still using them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, unbelievable.
You know, we have different software for them these days, but it still runs. They have a hard time finding computers that can operate them, but yeah.
Fantastic. So basically, I mean, we used to shoot at the booth when I went into a visual. So it's a box that locks and unlocks automatically by putting in combinations and codes, and you put a bunch of keys in it, take your key in, put your key out. Greatest thing for key control. Now, we talked right before we went on the air, and I said, you got any latest Internet of Things stuff? And you said, we don't believe in it. And I said, yes, that's fantastic. Tell us your philosophy on that.
Well, from a security standpoint, we don't believe in putting information on the internet. We want you to have access to your information. We want you to have access to your information. We don't need access to your information. So therefore, it's really, our systems are designed to run on your network versus the internet.
Right.
So again, from a security standpoint, we think that's a major, major advantage.
And let's talk about keys. And when we say key, us quote physical security people don't use that word. It's demeaning.
Access cards.
It's demeaning.
Could be devices.
We're talking about the old-fashioned key, right?
Right.
But of course, in the cyber world, a key is an encryption key, and that is really just a virtual key that you take and put it into another file, then it unlocks a code, and that's why you encrypt your files and make them safe. So, how often do we hear, what's the recent one with that credit company? Oh, a bunch of data's been lost, but because somebody left a key in some folder on the network in a file, somebody found it and unlocked all the data, right? So to your point, keeping the keys off the network, real keys or cyber keys is a great idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So give us an idea of your clientele, kind of some vertical markets, not by names, right, but kind of type of businesses you serve the most.
Honestly, it's anyone with, whether it's physical keys, soft keys that they need to secure, and it's hospitals, hotels, universities, commercial buildings, residential buildings, military applications.
Oh, military. I'm glad to hear that.
I say, we are literally, it's convention centers.
Right.
Arenas, you know, we do a lot of arenas around the country. I mean, it's one of those markets where it started off primarily in security departments for existing guard tour customers.
Exactly.
Where
we had internal security, right?
Correct. So and then from there, it just kind of really just mushroomed to various industries. We have this, and we have 14 different languages that their system is available in.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We are everywhere.
Now, do you have any compliance issues in other countries? USA, I would guess it's pretty standard, but some countries, there's privacy rules, privacy issues. You can't save data.
Right.
Now, you're the manufacturer, you're giving it to the client, that's their problem. But somebody comes into Germany that, Germany won't want to save these codes and these passwords for the box, and they say, no, 30 days, got to get rid of it.
Yeah, we haven't really run into those issues at all. That hasn't been, nothing has really come up that way.
Any countries you can't sell to, you don't have to name them, but because the U.S. says, you know what, that's something we don't want. We don't want Al-Qaeda locking things up, right? We want Al-Qaeda to lose their keys.
Yeah, no, we haven't locked up any ISIS weapons or anything. No, that's not an issue. No.
Now, what do you guys work on? Anything that's on the drawing table, the latest, greatest?
Yeah, actually, our latest product is called the Asset Watcher, and essentially, it's a locker that tracks and records specifically what's in a locker.
Oh, that's fabulous!
It's an RFID, product for us. It's our really first foray into that market. So the concept is pretty straightforward. We've had lockers with our key watchers for years.
I remember that, right?
But basically, you open the locker and close the locker, whether you've removed or returned anything. Doesn't really know. Now we want to refer to them as smart lockers, if you want to call it that. So I can have several devices in a locker. You and I both have access to it. I walk up, I select my device. It knows what I've removed.
Right.
And if I take yours, it alerts you. It lets you know that I've taken something that
That's
I
a great
shouldn't.
idea.
I mean, 'cause again, if it's in the same locker, I can take it out, but now you're going to know that I've done something that I shouldn't have done.
Now, do you custom make these? Do you have standard size lockers? How does that work?
Well, right now we will be custom making them. Right now we have one size. The first one's kind of off the line, but we will have multiple sizes and various sizes to meet different industries, different devices.
My security guy radio brain is moving fast. Guess
Okay.
who your best customer is going to be? Amazon.com.
Well, you know what? That'd be nice,
That's
but
the
they're already
distribution
customers.
center. Oh, well, no, but not for the keys, though. For the lockers, right?
Yes.
Because their distribution,
Right.
I go on there and get Amazon Prime. I get something in one day because some guy has that thing in his garage.
Right.
And he picks it up and takes it to your house. It's fantastic. And they have little stations with lockers, I understand. I don't know the whole process, but
Right.
that's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Now-
And that's we're pretty excited about that.
That's a great idea. Now, I want to give people an idea of scale. So you can see this thing behind us here, right? I could have a key wall this large. It's modular. I could have a box like this, and we just stack them together. We can chain them all together. What's the largest installation of keys in boxes? How many keys you have on one client?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to go back a few years. The largest single system that we manufacture today holds 1,440 sets of keys, and basically it's 15 cabinets all linked together.
Man.
Now, that said, there was, I believe it was Securitas in Sweden. What they did a while ago is they actually had 10 1,000 key systems, and basically it was almost like a library. So you had you had aisles of boxes. So you had 10 boxes on one. You have another aisle with 10 boxes on the other side. It was like bookshelves.
Wow.
Literally. So yeah, 14. I think it was 14,000 was the actual number in a single.
Well, they locking up
installation.
Versailles or something? What was that for?
Yeah, right. No, actually, what they do is apparently in Europe, or at least in Sweden, the police don't respond to burglary. Your house is broken into or your
Right.
alarm goes off. They don't respond, but the security company does. So they had keys to all the homes and apartments. So
That's
that was the
unbelievable.
application there. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was going back a while. I'm not sure if that's still how they do
Yeah, it's
things
very
over there,
interesting.
but that was
Fantastic.
Yeah, so-
George Larson,
Chuck, thank you so
moreswatchers.com.
much.
Always glad to see you. Always interesting
Likewise.
conversation. Back in a minute here on SecurityGuideTV.com. Check them out in booth number.
1633.
Back in a minute on Security Guide TV. Back in a minute on Security Guide TV. Back in a minute on Security Guide TV. Back in a minute on Security Guide TV.